Hi, I'm Paulo Benumea, and I'm gonna explain my scenario, which is Metaphysics and Art, Foundation and Interpretation of Life. What is the influence of aesthetic concepts on ethics? Well, is morality determined by beauty? Do we judge right and wrong based on what we find beautiful or repulsive? This question has haunted philosophers for centuries, but Friedrich Nietzsche dared to question the very root of morality. What if our morality of moral decisions are born from aesthetics? A provocative phrase says, if you kill a cockroach, you are a hero. But if you kill a butterfly, then you're a villain. Why? The action is the same. Killing an insect. What changes is the aesthetic. Philosopher Ben Nenai explains, a property is aesthetically relevant if attending to it involves an aesthetic difference, any aesthetic difference. This means that simply perceiving a visual trait can completely shift our experience, and also our judgment. Then, here we find a deep tension. On one side, natural law theory, that claims there are universal moral principles embedded in human nature. On the other, aesthetic morality suggests that our judgments are shaped by perception, culture, and beauty. So, what if we confuse what is good with what is beautiful? Nietzsche rejects this idea of universal morality. He doesn't ask, how can we make morality better? He asks, where did morality come from? And his answer lies not on God or reason, but in history, culture, and senses. For him, values aren't given, they are created. Why do we destroy cockroach without guilt, but protect the butterfly? It's not because one is good and the other is evil. It's because one disgusts us and the other delights us. This is not about moral worth, it's about aesthetic reaction. Our disgust towards cockroach isn't just personal, it's cultural. For centuries, they have been linked to dirt and danger. Butterflies, on the other hand, have been exalted in art and poetry. What we think deserves to live or deserves to die is shaped by the visual history of each species. Nietzsche claims that traditional ethics is a mask. Behind it are aesthetic judgments disguised as universal truths. What we call moral may simply be what pleases our senses. David Hume believed our aesthetic preferences came from our emotional constitution, the particular constitution and fabric of human feeling. Nietzsche goes further. He sees them as the result of historical power struggles of conditioning that transform taste into so-called truths. So then, why do we protect pandas but fear and eliminate bats? It's not because one has more value than the other. It's because one looks cute and the other triggers fear. From childhood, we learn that beauty is good and ugliness is evil. Take for example the fairy tales. Heroes are attractive, but the villains are deformed. These are our first associations between aesthetics and morality. If beauty and disgust influence what we consider morally acceptable, then ethics is no longer universal. It becomes a reflection of personal and cultural preferences. As John Thorpe writes, natural laws claims that our basic principles forget in nature, but Nietzsche dismantles this idea. So, is it possible to separate ethics from aesthetics? Can we judge right and wrong without involving our senses? Is our morality inevitably shaped by what we find beautiful or repugnant? Perhaps. It's only just time to admit that beauty and ugliness don't just fill our art galleries. They also guide our judgments, our laws, and our lives.